papers immediately. So I guarantee you, on my bedroom floor right now, there is a dense pile of papers from all of my classes, and they're not in a binder, they're just there. Don't let that be you, because it sucks and it's not fun. Organize as soon as possible, find a system that works for you. That worked for me through trial and error, which I found a lot of error. Um, but starting with like a binder, even if you feel like that's didn't work well in high school and you want to try something new, while you're looking for new strategies, keep an old strategy that at least works somewhat well so that you have your papers at least not in a pile on the floor. So um, that helped. Having organization would help for like time management too, because you don't have to look for a pile of papers. You already have it all there. So there's a lot of resources for that. I have to screen share for them. We're gonna check it out. Organization. All right, guys, let's tackle some online organization stuff. So everything you're gonna do is gonna probably be in Word or Excel or whatever it is, but I highly recommend, because I didn't do this until college, making sure to title everything starting with like that class. So this was my FYS, or the first year seminar. And so, because that it made it like dramatically easier to actually find everything. And it kind of has more of an organized look to it, which even though I'm kind of unorganized, I do appreciate. So notice, and then I also usually put the year. And then, because if you for some reason have this when you're like 47 and you're looking back, you're like, oh, back in the day. But until that point, the year is just kind of fun to have. So, yeah, I recommend organizing everything by the class, and you can do the abbreviated class name. Like the other one I did was chemistry, specifically for Chem 1030. And because for that one we had to upload a ton of stuff, but this kept it way easier to find and search for. And especially if you're trying to turn it in really fast, if you have like a generalized name where you can see everything, you're like, okay, this is exactly what I need. This can be a lot easier than trying to search through like 50 unnamed documents, which true story was around what happened in high school. So, we're in college now. We can make little differences that have big positive change. So the other thing specifically that I wanted to look at was for my FYS, um, I did class highlights, and I think we were kind of graded on this, but also if you're not really, if it's hard to take notes for it because it's not super defined, but it's still important stuff, just writing a little blip at the end of each class or whatever we were working on, I could like come back to this like a year later and be like, oh, I still remember that. And I can't say that for all of the classes I've taken in my whole life because, you're learning these things as you go. So I just did that by date, and then it's kind of cool. It's like charting your life. That's a thing I just found for a lot of stuff, especially like because I still have like half of my binders from high school that they're like crusty and gross, and even like the spiral binder is like dying. That doesn't happen if it's online. But I also have a ton of papers still, so I wanted to show you guys some of the products for like physical papers and stuff that I found this year and I think are going to be super useful. So the first one is like this binder, and there's binders right now at Walmart if you guys need something like that, like the accordion binder, or like there's a flip book that's like white, 'cause that's the color that they have, and then it's like inserts for that stuff. For me, neither of those was going to work out super great. So I found this online, and it's designed by a teacher. There she is. But it has like the capacity to open it up and then also to flip through it. So it's called a docket if you're interested. And then the other thing that I found that I'm thinking is going to be helpful, and there's a ton of options. I can't remember which one's the cheapest. But like sticky notes that are clear. Because I don't know if you guys are renting textbooks or whatever, but this just seems kind of super useful. And I'm definitely going to use it like an application in my school this semester, when I mess up a math problem, I'm gonna put a sticky note on top of it and be like, this is what I could have done. And then it's obvious that that's where it was. So just little things like that have the capacity to make your life easier. And who doesn't want an easier life? So I don't know. Those are the big things I found. Just being more organized with whatever I'm doing online, trying to name documents, and then also putting dates on documents, because those were like the two things I know I'd always forget. And those are the two things that, when especially if you're trying to find something in a scramble, will be super helpful. So that's about what I got for organization right now. But stay classy.